Hey everyone, and welcome to this GoodCarpetGuide.Com explainer. If you're a homeowner here in the US, you already know that keeping your house in top shape, it's a never-ending journey, right? Well, today we are zeroing in on a highly practical, super common, and, let's be honest, surprisingly frustrating issue. We're going to break down exactly how to repair carpet transition strips so you can tackle your flooring with absolute confidence. Let's jump right in. Okay, let's start with a scenario I bet we are all too familiar with. Are you just completely tired of stubbing your toe on a broken carpet transition strip? I mean, it is sheer physical pain, isn't it? But look, beyond the pure annoyance of a stubbed toe or snagging your favorite pair of socks, a split or lifting transition strip is actually a legitimate tripping hazard. And from a structural standpoint, it's a vital floor health issue. When that threshold fails, it leaves the edges of your beautiful floors completely vulnerable to damage, fraying, and unraveling. Now, to fix these properly, we first have to understand why these strips are even there in the first place. And it all comes down to this definition right here, the expansion gap. Basically, it's a small space left around the perimeter of a floor. You see, materials like hardwood, they're natural, they're living. They literally breathe, expanding and contracting with all those seasonal shifts in temperature and humidity in your home. Installers leave this gap so your floors don't buckle, warp, or cup as the seasons change. So, the transition strip's main job is simply to cover this vital gap while still allowing the floors underneath to float and breathe freely. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover fixing that tripping hazard, the different types of transition strips, why they fail in the first place, a step-by-step repair guide, and finally, DIY versus hiring a pro. All right, Section 1, Types of Transition Strips, finding the right bridge for your floors. Okay, let's totally demystify the flooring hardware jargon here so you know exactly what to look for at the store. Think of these strips like different types of bridges, entirely depending on the heights of your floors. If your two floors, say hardwood and tile, are at the exact same height, you need a T-molding. If there's a slight step down, like hardwood dropping down to carpet, you want a reducer to create a nice, gentle slope. If your floor comes to a dead stop against something like a sliding glass door, grab an end cap. And if you're transitioning from carpet to a hard floor, where the carpet needs to be tucked and held under tension, you're looking for a Z-bar or a tack bar system. You'll find these profiles in a few different materials. Metals like aluminum, brass, and stainless steel are incredibly common, especially for commercial spots or high-traffic residential areas, just because of their pure durability. On the flip side, solid wood and vinyl or PVC composites are super popular for residential homes because they easily blend right in with the aesthetic of your existing floors. Moving right along to Section 2, Why Transition Strips Fail, breaking down the breakdown. Let's investigate exactly why these strips give up and turn into toe breakers. The main culprits here are metal fatigue and subfloor anchor degradation. Think about it. Over 12 to 24 months, these strips take a beating from constant foot traffic and rolling loads. Every single time you push a heavy vacuum cleaner or roll a cart over that threshold, you're exerting localized downward force on the metal. Over time, this fatigues the pre-bent aluminum, actually flattening out the clamp-down flange that holds the carpet. Once that metal flattens and widens out, it loses its structural shape, releases its grip, and bam, the carpet slips out and starts to fray. Alternatively, the fasteners holding the strip to the wood or concrete subfloor can just degrade and pull right out over time. And guys, the danger of trying to salvage broken parts is very real. Check out this quote from a user on the r/flooring subreddit. They noted that a split transition is often a tap-down metal that got reused too many times. The absolutely crucial point here is that this specific metal is used to hold the stretch or tension on the carpet so it won't wrinkle. When that metal is weakened or split, you lose that vital tension. Which brings us to Section 3, Step-by-Step Repair Guide, from removal to retucking. This is where we roll up our sleeves and get into the actual physical mechanics of the fix. A professional repair follows this super logical 5-step progression: assessment, removal, subflow prep, strip installation, and finally, carpet retucking. You've got to assess if it's the strip, the subfloor, or the carpet tension that actually failed. Then you remove the hardware, prep the flow underneath, install the new hardware, and retuck the carpet. Let's look a little closer at a few of the most crucial steps here.
Okay, step 2, removal. This requires a bit of finesse. For safe removal, the pros use a drop-forged flat pry bar or a heavy-duty 5-in-1 painter's tool. You want to position these tools exactly at the fastening points, right where the nails or screws are, and apply smooth vertical leverage. This pro tip is absolutely essential so you don't accidentally splinter your wood subfloor or chip the beautiful tile or vinyl sitting right next door.
Once the old strip is out, we hit the subfloor prep stage. And here is a very specific metric you need to keep in mind: 3 millimeters. Your subfloor must be flat within 3 millimeters over a 2-meter radius before installing the new hardware. If it isn't, well, you'll end up with an uneven, rocking transition that squeaks every single time you step on it. Not fun. You might need to use a floor patch compound or do a little sanding to get it just right. Now, what happens if you're installing a modern snap-in track and the standard screws are distorting the plastic, making it literally impossible to click the top piece in? Here is an incredible insider workaround from the pros. You can actually cut the mounting channel right off the bottom of the molding. Then just use nickel-sized dollops of high-strength construction adhesive, like PL Premium or Bostik, spaced out on the subfloor. Just make absolutely sure the adhesive stays purely in the center channel and doesn't accidentally glue down the actual floating floor next to it. Remember, that expansion gap needs to still do its job. All right, step 5. This is where a lot of homeowners run into trouble, so please take note of these carpet retucking warnings straight from the flooring community. First, the carpet edge must be re-stretched to restore proper tension. You need to tuck it firmly with a carpet tucker or a stiff putty knife. And here is the golden rule from a verified carpet installer: never pull carpet off a tack strip unless you know exactly how to stretch it back onto it. Seriously, don't do it. Finally, if you're using a Z-bar metal, secure it by tapping it down gently with a rubber mallet to clamp the carpet perfectly in place. Section 4. DIY versus hiring a pro, the reality check. Let's see how this all builds towards your ultimate decision. As your friendly expert advising you on your weekend plans, here is where we draw the line. What's actually safe for a DIY weekend project? Well, snap-in vinyl strips on a wood subfloor are generally very manageable. Trimming up loose cosmetic fibers or doing minor track gluing with construction adhesive, you can likely handle that with just a little elbow grease. But when do you call a pro? If you're dealing with Z-bar tension systems on a concrete subfloor, you're going to need specialized concrete fasteners and tools. If your carpet has lost its tension and needs genuine restretching, or if your concrete or wood subfloor anchors are heavily degraded and need structural patching, it's time to call a licensed contractor. Messing these up can literally ruin your floor entirely. And if you're wondering about the financial side of calling a pro, let's look at the numbers. According to cost data from Thumbtack, while full carpet replacement can climb into the thousands, the low-end cost of a professional carpet replacement or a localized repair job is around $287. Which leads me to this final provocative question for you to chew on. When you factor in the cost of buying or renting specialized tools like a carpet stretcher or a masonry drill, along with your highly valuable weekend time and the sheer frustration if things just don't line up perfectly, do all of those costs truly outweigh a $287 professional repair? Only you can decide what's best for your home and your budget. But hey, now you have the structured knowledge to make the absolute smartest choice for your floors. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this GoodCarpetGuide.com explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.